For various reasons, there have been a lot of off-screen battles that we never got to see. In this video, I want to talk about them, but before I start, I want to ask you all to like this video and subscribe for more. I hope you guys have a great day, and let's get into it. One of the greatest battles to watch should have been Tobirama versus Ginkaku and Ginkaku. Tobirama Senju has been one of the most interesting and powerful ninjas in the history of Naruto. There are a lot of secrets and mysteries behind him, and one of the biggest mysteries is his death, and how he was defeated by Ginkaku and Ginkaku. This confrontation took place in the First Shinobi World War. Like Hashirama before him, Tobirama tried to foster good relations with the other villages. He planned an alliance between Konoha and Iwagakure, but during a formal ceremony, he and the second Raikage were attacked by the Gold and Silver brothers and left near death. During the First Shinobi World War, Team Tobirama as well as Danzo Shimura, Torifu Akimichi, and Kagami Uchiha found themselves surrounded by Kumo's Ginkaku force. With no way for all of them to escape, Tobirama volunteered to act as a decoy in place of Hiruzen. Before departing, he gave the title of Hokage to Hiruzen before being killed by Ginkaku. This is a very interesting battle, and I am very disappointed that we never saw it, not even in the fillers. I really wondered how the Ginkaku unit managed to defeat Tobirama Senju, one of the strongest ninja in history. Well, I've made a separate video about it, where I talk about this battle in much greater detail, and I recommend you watch it. It should be linked in the description. Might Dai vs. 7 Ninja Swordsmen is the second epic battle that was never shown in the anime. Might Dai, often referred to as an eternal genin, was a shinobi from the Hidden Leaf. In the Third Shinobi World War, Dai rescued his son and his teammates Ebisu and Genma Shiranui from the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist who had confronted the trio. Though his son argued that he was no match for the Kirigakure nin, Dai reminded his son that he still had the 8 Gates technique, and with that jutsu, he could rival them. In the anime, Dai's efforts ultimately killed 4 members of the famous group: Jinin Akebino, Kushimaru Kuriarare, Jinpachi Munashi, and Hiramekare's wielder. One of the survivors was Juzo Biwa, who we saw in the anime asking Itachi if he ever knew Might Dai, in which Itachi answered that he knew Might Dai. Then Juzo mentioned how Dai killed most of the swordsmen but didn't say much more. It's interesting how Juzo managed to escape from Dai. 8 Gates is one of the coolest techniques, and I would really love to see it again. I also wonder how strong these 7 swordsmen were, since they survived Dai's 8th Gate, which we know from the Madara vs. Guy fight is an extremely powerful technique. Another fight we never saw was Madara vs. Mu and Onoki. Madara Uchiha was the legendary leader of the Uchiha clan. He was one of the most powerful shinobi in history, recognized as the strongest Uchiha in his lifetime and for decades after his death. At some point, Madara met Onoki and Mu and declared that despite the alliance between their villages, Konoha was to remain the dominant one, and anything that Konoha Gakure requested, Iwagakure was to obey. We have only seen a small part of this battle, and it's very humiliating for the Hidden Stone ninjas. However, I would love to see the full battle of it. How did Madara manage to counter 2 particle-style users and defeat them so easily? One of the most interesting unknown fights is Hashirama vs. Kakuzu. The ninja, who had a reputation equal to Madara Uchiha, was the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, who was famed as the strongest shinobi of his era and one of the strongest in history, reputed as a god of shinobi. We can see that the databook clearly implies that Hashirama defeated Kakuzu very easily. In fact, this defeat was the reason Kakuzu became a rogue ninja in the first place. I'm very impressed that Kakuzu even survived his battle against Hashirama, because when you think about it, the first Hokage is miles above him when it comes to power. He is the user of a lot of overpowered techniques, such as summoning a giant Buddha statue, which can overpower 9 tails combined with Susanoo. He can also summon giant wood human technique, which can deflect an entire tailed beast bomb with his bare hands. And let's not talk about the advent of a world of flowering trees and wood dragon technique. Surviving a battle with Hashirama Senju when you're leagues below him is without a doubt a feat in itself, especially after considering the fact that his Kakuzu was not immortal yet, since he stole the knowledge of the Earth Grudge Fear technique after his battle with Hashirama Senju. But even with or without immortality, his Kakuzu still stood no chance against the god of shinobi. Hashirama should have been able to one-shot him with minimal effort. I guess Kakuzu wasn't fighting alone and he was with his special squad. I think Hashirama slaughtered his whole squad very easily and Kakuzu barely escaped. Or maybe Hashirama let him escape, which in fact is very in character for him to do, since we know how kind-hearted he really is. We never got to see Hashirama's final battle. Many people think that Kakuzu killed Hashirama, but we've already cleared that misconception. Let's talk about the final battle of Hashirama Senju that happened in the First Shinobi World War. Many people think that he died of old age, but that's not true. According to official data, the first Naruto databook, which was written by Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, ultimately, Hashirama's wish for peace would not come to fruition during his lifetime, and he died while Konohagakure began to flourish. Also, we know that with Edo Tensei, ninjas are reanimated in the physical state they were in when they died. That's why Chiyo and the third Hokage were reanimated. Madara was a special case, and according to Kabuto, he modified Madara's body to look younger than he was at the time of his death. When Hashirama was reanimated, we can see that one of the shoulder plates of his armor was destroyed, which means that he was fighting before dying. But who was he fighting against? Who was strong enough to defeat the god of Shinobi? I've made a separate video about this topic and I recommend you watch it. You'll find all your answers to it in that video. The link will be in the description. It would be very interesting to see Minato versus 1,000 ninjas. Minato was one of the most powerful shinobi in history, considered by many to be unmatched by anyone else. He became world famous after his great effort in the Third Shinobi World War, but the true recognition came after he defeated the Iwagakure army all by himself, a feat that forced Onoki to accept a peace treaty. However, there is one misconception about this battle. Many people think that Minato has killed 1,000 ninja. That is not true, and I think it was a misunderstood line from Onoki from the Shadow of the Anbu arc. Onoki says, "With pride on our line, we sent 1,000 of our shinobi, and I hear that it took just one of them, the Yellow Flash, to stop the invasion." And that's the reality of it. Onoki credited Minato with stopping the Hidden Stone invasion. He didn't say he killed 1,000 shinobi. The manga delves deeper into Kakashi Gaiden. Minato lays out the situation to his team and tells them that the Hidden Stone has deployed 1,000 shinobi to the front line to invade the Hidden Grass Village. Minato then tells his team that after they make it to the border, Kakashi will sabotage a crucial bridge while he heads to the front line. Minato shows up to the front line when their forces are at 50, while Konoha only has 4 shinobi remaining. Like Onoki just said in the Shadow of the Anbu episode, they were about to succeed in their invasion, 50 versus 4, before Minato showed up and beat the remaining 50 in an instant, ending the invasion. I'm pretty sure that even if there were 1,000 enemies, Minato would still be able to defeat them. We know what Minato's capable of, and we know that as a Jonin, he's already in the top 0.1% of shinobi. But let's be factual about events that happened. There's another video describing this topic in more depth, so check that out as well. Third Raikage versus 10,000 ninja was mentioned in the anime as well. The Yellow Flash versus Iwagakure army was not the only famous skirmish that happened in this war. The third Raikage fought a legendary battle against 10,000 ninjas all by himself for 3 days and nights, which is an incredible feat. We don't know against whom he was fighting, but if we look closely, we can see the ninja uniforms of Hidden Leaf, Hidden Sand, Hidden Mist, and Hidden Stone. I don't know what the reason for this battle was, as we can see that every village is seemingly allied with each other in order to defeat the leader of Hidden Cloud. I think we've never seen a better endurance feat from a ninja in this series, and I hope we'll get more information about this battle in the future. The 8th mysterious fight on my list is Jiraiya versus Orochimaru. As we all know, there was a rivalry between Sasuke and Naruto, continuously fought in which they had to achieve their goals. In Naruto's case, it was to make Sasuke return to the Hidden Leaf. For Sasuke, it was to obtain power and defeat Itachi afterward. It was to avenge his brother. Well, Orochimaru and Jiraiya had somewhat similar goals in which Jiraiya couldn't achieve his goal. They had one special fight, which we know that Jiraiya lost. It would be amazing to see this fight as well, since they were both in their prime. I wonder what kind of techniques they used. We got to see Indra versus Ashura in the latest episodes of Naruto Shippuden, but it's known that the fighting continued, yet we never got to see them in detail. Ashura being the reincarnation of the immense power of both Naruto and Hashirama, I wanted to see him go all out, fighting through whatever means necessary to preserve the power of the six paths for himself and keep it away from Indra's vile will. Another battle which was never shown was Fu versus the immortal duo Hidan and Kakuzu. We got to see this duo against two-tailed Jinchuriki, not as a whole fight, but part of it. We could say that this fight was easy for the duo to win as we saw the outcome that they had. But Fu was the Jinchuriki of the Seven Tails, the strongest after Kurama and Gyuki. It would be amazing if we had the chance to see their fight, since we might have gotten to see Fu's Jinchuriki rampage. If Utakata and the six-tailed Jinchuriki hadn't been ambushed by Pain so unexpectedly, he would have managed to damage Pain much more. But even so, without much information, he struck them very hard. Well, Pain was much stronger than Hidan and Kakuzu, so the seven-tailed Jinchuriki might have damaged both the immortal duo quite lethally. There were other interesting battles which weren't shown, but for now, this is all for today. I hope this video was informative. Like this video and turn on notifications for more.